Tim Pool says, I assume they deleted it because it's more offensive to Israel than to Megyn Kelly. The joke implies Israel assassinates Americans for criticizing.
Yeah, and they would never do that. Israel would never, they would never assassinate an American just for criticizing them. Oh, and they certainly wouldn't ever assassinate a president of the United States or that guy's brother who's going to be a future president, or, I don't know, a guy who's the leader of the youth and conservative movement in America who had turned against it. They would never, that would never do that. That joke implies Israel assassinates Americans for criticizing them. And why do you think it implies that? Because that's what they do.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Jimmy Dore Show. I am your guest host, Chris Keene. I am here with Jimmy Dore. We're going to talk about the Babylon Bee. The Babylon Bee did something very bad. They made a joke. I know, it's a crazy thing to think that a satirical website would make a joke, but apparently that's bad now for a satirical website. Here we have the Babylon Bee deletes satirical pager joke targeting Megyn Kelly after backlash. The Babylon Bee, a conservative satire site, published and then removed a post joking that Megyn Kelly discarded her old pager due to assassination fears linked to her criticism of Israel, drawing sharp condemnation from figures like Tim Pool, Glenn Greenwald, and Oren McIntyre. Critics accused the site of implying threats against Kelly by referencing Israel's alleged sabotage of Hezbollah devices in Lebanon.
Alleged?
I know, I don't understand.
They brag
that.
about it.
I know, I don't. What is that? I don't understand that. Which killed 37 and injured over 3,000. The incident highlighted divisions within the MAGA coalition over Israel support, with defenders arguing the humor targeted Israel rather than endorsing violence. Here's Megyn Kelly saying, "What the F, Seth Dillon?"
So Seth Dillon's the head of the Babylon Bee.
Yes.
And, of course, the Babylon Bee does some really funny stuff. And then, of course, they're Israel first. So they have the mind virus. They have the right-wing woke mind virus. And so they're all for censoring people. They're all for deporting people who criticize Israel. They're all for supporting a genocide and calling it self-defense. And so that's they have a real Achilles heel over at the Babylon Bee. Well, again, there's lots of stuff they do that is funny and actually even insightful. They got the mind virus over Israel, so they're not America first, which is the irony. And they're kind of for everything we just voted against. But anyway, if you look at this, it says there's Megyn Kelly gets rid of old pager just to be safe.
I thought that was funny.
So so what they're doing is saying that Israel kills their detractors, people who are critical of them, and she's barely critical of them. I don't even know, I can't even point to anything she said that's critical. She's just against silencing and censoring people who have legitimate criticisms, like Tucker Carlson. She stood up for Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. I don't know why I keep not putting her S on the end of her name, but anyway, so that's all she did. And then they make this about her. So there was a full court press to try to get Megyn Kelly to break and denounce Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, and it looks like this was part of it. And so what they're really saying is like, oh yeah, Israel are terrorists. Because that's what terrorists do. And they'll kill anybody who disagrees with them or criticizes them. And they realize that, I think, and that's why they took it down. But she retweets it and says, WEF Seth Dillon. Okay, so keep going.
All right. I thought this was a very funny article by Babylon Bee. I didn't understand the whole thing. Tim Pool says, I assume they deleted it because it's more offensive to Israel than to Megyn Kelly. The joke implies Israel assassinates Americans for criticizing.
Yeah, and they would never do that. Israel would never assassinate an American just for criticizing them. And they certainly wouldn't ever assassinate a president of the United States or that guy's brother who's going to be a future president, or, I don't know, a guy who's the leader of the youth and conservative movement in America who had turned against it. They would never do that. That joke implies Israel assassinates Americans for criticizing them. And why do you think it implies that? Because that's what they do. Maybe that's why it was so easy for them to make that joke. Okay, go ahead.
All right, next we have Glenn Greenwald weighing in. He says, last night the Babylon Bee, which should just rename itself the Tel Aviv Bee, threatened Megyn Kelly that she'd be murdered by Israel for refusing to deplatform all Israel critics. As Israel loyalists often do, they use the pager image to pretend it was all just a joke. So I didn't read it the way Glenn seems to have read it here. I think we have different interpretations of the joke. I looked at it as a joke on Israel, not on Megyn Kelly or going after her. But this is actually a great example of how comedy can be misinterpreted, or there's multiple interpretations of it. So that's interesting. Here we have another tweet. Babylon Bee is now inciting murder against conservatives who won't go along with their cancel campaign. I don't see how this joke is inciting murder. I don't understand these takes on this. But what do you think, Jimmy?
Well, I could see how someone could take that and say, "Oh, look, they're saying, well, this is what someone gets for criticizing Israel in the United States. That's what they get. Oh, Megyn Kelly gets rid of old pager just to be safe because Israel kills their critics." That's so I could see people saying, yeah, it's okay to kill your critics because that's what Israel does.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I wouldn't take it that way, but I could see if someone did.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Tim Miller says, appears the Bee has now deleted this post. I thought Trump was going to make humor legal again, and the libs were just a bunch of snowflakes who can't take a joke. Yeah, I feel similarly. I thought this was a funny joke. I thought it was somewhat criticizing Israel is how I read it. Maybe
that is why they had to take it down.
Yeah.
Because it was being interpreted as insulting Israel, which it is. And that's the one thing you can't do in the Zionist cult. And so the Babylon Bee had to take that down. They have spent themselves into a pretzel and turned into everything they claim to have decried over the last 10 years from the woke left. This is the woke right. They even have to apologize for their jokes now.
Yeah, this is like the left saying don't make trans jokes, like this blanket statement.
That's right.
Like you can make jokes about anything. It just depends how you do it, of course. I mean, there could be bad jokes and good jokes, but you should be allowed to joke about anything. Murray says, just so we're clear, Charlie Kirk was an infinitely bigger threat to pro-Israel Zionists than Megyn Kelly, and now they're openly joking about her being murdered by Mossad. I don't see how Megyn Kelly is a threat at all to Israel. She's very pro-Israel, I feel like.
I think she's pro-Israel. She just won't. She's not bending to the pressure from the Zionists, Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin and those people, or the Babylon Bee, to go ahead and denounce Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, and she won't do it. And so that's to them just as bad as criticizing Israel, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the woke left that the right criticizes does, this ideological purity test, where you have to be 100% on board, or else
that's what
you're
the Zionists
bad.
do. Same thing.
Yes, yeah.
It's never enough. Glenn Greenwald is asking the Zionists, what's the joke then? What is the joke that's here? I keep asking them, what was the joke here? None will explain the joke. What was it? Also quite notable when it's just a joke applies and when it doesn't. So let's watch.
All right.
Kirk, if you just want me to kick him out, not mention it, not care that this kid is
anti-Semitic,
shut up. If you just want me to ignore it.
Don't tell me to shut up.
Shut the fuck up, you bald fuck.
Okay, go ahead.
How's that?
Oh, it's kill. I'll never recover from that, Dave. Go ahead, continue. I'll never recover.
Well, you're the one who big boss man, don't tell. I'll tell you work for me.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
You little bitch, you work for me.
Sure, you bet. For now,
oh, you
continue.
don't? For now, quit. I don't care.
Is this show or not a show? Like, is a show or not a show? Like, we can't have a conversation?
You're an idiot.
Okay, continue.
You're literally saying people should be allowed to make Jew jokes, say whatever they want right fucking now.
Yes, I think people should be allowed to make jokes.
So how many motherfucking Jews have to be killed before you stop?
How many people in the history of the world have been killed because of a joke? Like what? What is this? I don't understand.
So,
this.
The one imperative for any comedic satirist these days is to be able to joust at the ones openly trying to kill you, unless, of course, that in some way offends them, then you can't make the joke. That's what Dave Portnoy is saying.
Apparently.
Yeah, we're all for you being able to be a comedic satirist and joust at the people trying to kill you, unless it offends the people trying to kill you. Then you're a bald prick.
I mean, this is like when I was a kid and people said that, we have to censor rock music because it'll make you worship Satan or something like that. Like, it's just this ridiculous logic that a joke is going to make you pose a threat to somebody. So anyways, that's the Babylon Bee. They're a satirical website who apparently should not be making jokes. This is no time for jokes, guys. No time for jokes.
Come see us in Australia. Second show's added in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. We'll see you in Burbank, California, the day after Thanksgiving. It's a Friday. And then Pottstown, Pennsylvania, December 6th. Plus, January 11th, we're going to be in Waikiki at the Blue Note. Tickets not available yet for them, but go to jimmydore.com for a link for all the other tickets.